Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Nigro with the Chemistry Notes Screencast. This is our fourth screencast for our Unit 5 material dealing with chemical kinetics and bonding. This particular screencast is going to focus on how to use Lewis dot symbols to show the transfer of electrons during the formation of ionic bonds. So we're going to be using those Lewis dot symbols for atoms and then for the resulting ions, and we'll use arrows to show that transfer. If you have a question about how to write a Lewis dot symbol for an atom or an ion, please go look at the previous screencast for that information. All right. So we're going to start with just a refresher. What types of elements form ionic bonds? Well, we know that those are going to be our metals interacting with our non-metals, and those elements are going to be transferring those electrons. So then the question that we haven't really talked about too much is which way do those electrons transfer? And those electrons are always going to transfer from the metal to that non-metal. All right. So the metal will become positively charged and the non-metal will become negatively charged. All right. So if you're ever wondering which way your arrows should flow when you draw these structures, they should be moving from your metal towards your non-metal. Okay. All right, so to illustrate this movement between atoms of the electron in this formation of an ionic compound, there are generally four steps that we like to follow. Sometimes when we ask questions on tests and quizzes, we break it down and ask you to do each step individually. Other times it's going to look a little bit more like what I'm going to show below. All right, but in the end, these are the different, I guess, different things that we should see when we show this transfer. All right, the first, you need to draw the Lewis symbol of each neutral atom. All right. And remember that Lewis symbol should show those valence electrons, and we put one electron in each side before we start to pair them up. All right. The second thing we're going to do is show that transfer of electrons. And remember that transfer is metal to non-metal. And we're going to use arrows to show that movement. All right. If needed, you're going to add more atoms. All right. And we'll talk about that when we do a couple of examples below. All right. Step 3, we're going to draw the Lewis symbol of each ion. All right. That forms. All right. Don't forget your brackets and charges for these guys. All right. Now, if you need to use more than one of an atom, there are a couple different ways to do that. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then finally, when you're finished, you need to look at it and you need to write the formula of that final formula unit. All right. And remember, when we're talking about ionic compounds, we call what forms a formula unit. All right. If they're covalent, whoops, then we would talk about molecules. Okay. So these are our 4 steps. Draw the Lewis symbol of each neutral atom, show the transfer of electrons from metal to non-metal using arrows, adding additional atoms if needed, draw the Lewis symbol of each ion that forms after the transfer, including brackets and charges, and then write the formula, that final formula unit. I would like to add, you should also be able to name these guys. All right. We've been working on that for a while. All right. So we're going to do each one of these, working through these steps. All right. So here we've got sodium and bromine. All right. So sodium's in group 1, bromine's in group 17. So I'm going to start by doing the Lewis dot symbol of each of these. So sodium is +1, or sorry, sodium has 1 valence electron. Bromine has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so now I have my Lewis dot symbols of each. Step 2, show the transfer. So the transfer is going to be from sodium to bromine. All right, so I use an arrow to show where that electron is going to go, quote unquote. All right, sodium will transfer that single electron over to bromine, and that means we're going to form 2 ions. All right, the first ion will be a sodium ion that is +1. All right, it's given away one electron and it forms a +1 ion. All right, associated with that is going to be a bromine ion. Now, the bromine ion has gained an electron. So now instead of 7 valence electrons, it has 8, and it has a -1 charge. All right, there's one of each atom involved in this transfer, so I only have one showing for my ion Lewis dot symbols. All right. And then my final step is to write the formula. And then I'm also going to write the name. All right. There's one sodium and one bromine. We again list the metal first. So it's NaBr, which is called sodium bromide. All right. And that's it. We just need to do these 4 steps over and over and over. All right, so up next we have calcium, which is in group 2, oxygen, which is in group 16. So we start with the Lewis dot symbol. Calcium has 2 valence electrons. Oxygen is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, again, remember, I told you it doesn't matter where the paired and unpaired electrons are around your symbol, as long as you have the right number of pairs and the right number of singles. I'd like to do it this way because it's easier for my arrows. All right, so again, we're going to transfer electrons from the metal to the nonmetal. All right, so here goes one, and here goes the other. All right, that's going to give me 2 ions, a calcium ion that has lost 2 electrons, so it's a +2 charge, and then an oxygen atom, which now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, meaning it picked up 2 electrons, making it a -2 charge. I only needed one of each atom for this transfer to be successful and for both atoms to gain their octet. All right. So that means that my formula is going to be CaO, one of each. And this is going to be calcium oxide. Okay. So both of those were examples where I needed one atom of each to fulfill the octet. All right. Now let's look at one where that's not the case. All right. So we've got potassium, which is in group 1, and sulfur, which is in group 16. All right. So potassium has a single valence electron. Sulfur has 6 valence electrons. So we're going to transfer the electron from potassium to the sulfur, and potassium is now stable, right? It's got its 8 valence electrons, but sulfur is not stable. It has 7 now, right? So it needs one more electron. So how do we get that? Well, we add a second potassium, all right? And when we do that, it can transfer an electron to the sulfur. So we need 2 potassium atoms, each transferring a single electron to fill up sulfur's octet. All right, now what does that look like over here? All right, so our potassium Lewis symbol looks like this, right? Potassium with no dots, +1 charge. But we used 2 of them. So I put a large 2 out in front to indicate I have 2 of this ion. If you would like to draw the potassium Lewis dot symbol twice, that's perfectly fine. All right, either way, I tend to use a coefficient to show I have 2 of them. And then associated with that, I have a single sulfur ion, but that single sulfur ion has 8 valence electrons now, and it has a -2 charge. All right, so we have a +2 charge here, a -2 charge here, so our molecule is neutral, all right, and that's what we need. All right, so for our formula, we have 2 potassium atoms for every 1 sulfur, so K2S. All right, and our name is potassium sulfide. Okay? All right, and last but certainly not least, aluminum, which is in group 13, so 3 valence electrons, oxygen, which is in group 16 with 6 valence electrons. So we've got our aluminum atom with 1, 2, 3, and an oxygen atom with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so I'm going to transfer an electron here, and I'm going to transfer an electron here. So the oxygen has a full octet, but the aluminum still has another electron to give. All right, so it is not stable yet. So that means we need another oxygen atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this third electron will be transferred to that oxygen. So now the first aluminum and the first oxygen are both stable, but the second oxygen needs another electron. So I'm going to have to add in another aluminum with 1, 2, 3 valence electrons. There goes one of them. So now the second oxygen's happy, but that second aluminum is not because it still has 2 electrons to give. So we need another oxygen atom with 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. I'm going to try and figure out a way to make the arrows work better. There we go. All right, so we'll take an electron here, we'll take an electron here. All right, and now those two aluminum atoms have both donated their 3 electrons. Those 3 oxygen atoms have each accepted 2 electrons. So everybody has their octet. Now, I used 2 aluminum atoms. So 2 in front of the Al symbol with a +3 on the outside because they each gave away 3 electrons. I used 3 oxygen atoms, and each one of those ions now has a full octet and a -2 charge. So I have a +6 total charge for my cation, a -6 total charge for my anion, giving me an overall neutral molecule. And that neutral molecule has the formula of Al2O3, 2 aluminums, 3 oxygens. All right, for our name, aluminum oxide. Okay, so practice is what you need here. There aren't that many combinations that we can come up with. I mean, there are only so many elements that we have to work with. So chances are by the time you finish the worksheet, you'll have done them all. But you need to practice. All right. So again, remember the steps. You draw the Lewis symbol of each neutral atom. Then you show the transfer of electrons from the metal to the nonmetal, adding in additional atoms if needed to fulfill the octet rule. All right. Then once you're done, you draw the Lewis symbol of each ion that forms, remembering the brackets and charges. And if you use more than one, I use a big coefficient out in front. And then when you're finished, you look at how many of each you used, write the formula, and then if asked, name it. All right. Let me know if you have any questions.